Hey, what's up guys? Today we're going to take a look at the Malossi Variator kit from Scooter Swap Shop. There's going to be a link in the description below. It'll take you directly to the site so you can check it out. Also, new customers use the code SCNavi. You get 5% off your entire order. Nice. So, first things first, we're going to open the package, which I've already opened mine like some kind of savage, because screw blister packs. On the outside of the package, there's a little note. There are 2 bolts behind the Variator that need to be swapped out. The factory ones cause a clearance issue. They supplied these, so you can replace it, no problem. Oh, and before I forget, like and subscribe. Inside the kit, you're also going to find a new hub, very classy. The contra spring. Sorry, had to refocus the camera there for a second. The cover with sliders. These are going to be separate, but just so you can see, they're easy to put on. There's your slider. Slides right on. Nothing to it. And you're going to get your half pulley and a set of, so I can get one out of here. There you go. 12 gram rollers. Pretty nice. Also, you'll find some stickers, of course, because who doesn't need more stickers? And an instruction book. That's really rare for a parts kit. It's a nice addition. It's got cut pictures and words. Some of them are color. That's nice. It's in English and Italiano. So, unfortunately, if you can't speak one of those, you'll have to find a friend and have them read it to you. I'm pretty sure the instructions are exciting in Italian. So, what are we going to do with all this stuff? It's pretty simple. You set your rollers in, just like so. There's only one way they can go in, guys. It's pretty simple. These are, I'm not sure if I mentioned it, these are 12 gram, by the way. The factory Variator uses 17 gram. And if you saw my previous video with the more budget-minded CVT upgrade, I was using 11 gram Dr. Pulley sliders. Also put an RDR clutch bell on. So if you're on a tighter budget, I would suggest maybe you just go with the Dr. Pulley sliders. This kit's not super pricey. You know, give up coffee or something for about a month or so, and maybe you don't go to the dog track as often. I'm not judging you, but save your pennies. You can get one of these kits. They're pretty nice, and this is going to be a huge improvement over the sliders that I installed prior to this. At least I'm hoping so. So you're going to put, like I said, you can put your sliders on your cover. Inside the bike cover lines up with these notches here on your half pulley. It's always hard to work with a camera right in your face. There you go. That goes together as one little nice package. Hub slides in just like that. That's it. Seriously, this is going to be a very easy install. I'm going to show you step by step on the bike though, so you know how everything goes together. The contra spring shouldn't be too bad either. We're going to remove the clutch. This sits behind the clutch. Now, there is a special tool that you can use that clamps everything down, sandwiches it nice and tight. We're going to use our feet. That's the more risky business way to do things, but the spring has some tension on it, but if I can squeeze it with my pointer fingers and thumbs, we should be able to get it down with our feet. Not too big a deal. Now if you want to buy the tool's also on the Scooter Swap Shop site. There's other places you can buy it as well. I think when I looked, most places were out of stock, so we're going to do the old school method. Alright, we'll set up at the bike, show you how to disassemble everything, put it back together with the good stuff, and we'll be right back. Hey guys, Sorry about the traffic noise in the background. It's a busy time of the day. The only place I really got to work today is in the garage. First step, we're going to remove the cover. Don't mind the pine pollen. It's that time of year, and honestly I couldn't be bothered. So we're going to swing over here. There we go. So right here, Phillips screw. Just back it out on this clamp a little bit. Don't have to run it all the way out, just enough to slide this off. Or a little bit more. Sorry guys, this is a struggle with the camera between you and the bike. But we'll get it done. Here we go. Slide the clamp back. Slide that guy off. Easy. We're already halfway there. Alright, next step, all around the perimeter of this cover, 8 millimeter bolts. We're going to take those off. Come over here if you didn't catch it in frame. So I'm not going to bore you by making you watch me pull all these out, but I will point them all out to you real quick. So we have one here on the back, up here, here. Basically both sides of the starter. Here. Down here is going to be a short one. This holds on a, we'll call it a retention bracket for your brake lines, or brake cables, excuse me. It's going to be two, one in here. That's going to drop the brake cables down, but that's part of what holds the cover in. And then down here, at the bottom, that's the odd man out. Make sure you put that one back where it goes. Same deal. Just take all those out. The cover's going to slide off. If it doesn't come off easy, take the little rubber mallet and give it a couple light taps. Don't bring down the hammer Thor on it. Just a couple light taps. Shock it loose. Alright, I'm going to get this off and I'll be right back. Alright guys, we got the cover off. Nothing to it. So I don't know if it's just because I made it retentive, or we'll call this a tip. Not a bad idea. Keep all your bolts in order the way you took them out. That way you know exactly where everything went. Tip of the day, I guess. So this, you're going to need a 19 millimeter to take the clutch side off. You're going to need a 22 to take the variator side off. So you got options here. We're going to use an impact gun. That's what I used in the last video. I know not everybody has an impact gun, and yeah, you can buy special tools that'll hold these in place while you work them off with a ratchet or a combination wrench if you so choose. The cheap way that you can do it is you can brace this rear wheel up. That'll let you get this bell off, and then you can jam something behind here to hold this still long enough to get this off. That's going to be the more difficult way, but it is the way that, yeah, most guys in their toolbox, that's what they're going to come up with, is a pry bar or something to lodge everything in. But I digress. Alright, so we're going to take everything off, starting with the clutch bell. Remember, the order that all these things come in is important, so keep that in mind when disassembling everything. So the way all the washers and everything go back, or they're on there, they need to go back the same way. It's also a good opportunity to clean the clutch bell. It's going to have some dust on it, especially if you're kind of hard on the bike like I am. It's going to be kind of gross. It's a good opportunity to clean it. We're going to come back to this side. I really only took that off first because that's the socket I had loaded on the impact gun. Don't judge me. Alright, then we're going to rattle this side loose. Get you in there so you can see what's going on. Alright. Same thing. Very important. Remember the order that everything was assembled, so you can put everything back the same way. Just so you can see on top of the fan, this is what you got going on. You got this, I guess we'll call this a keeper or retainer. It's got splines cut in it. Washer on top of that. Both of those sit on top of the fan. Nut sits on top of that. It is good and dirty in here. This might take a little bit of effort to get work loose, but it'll come off. I'm going to set the fan right on top here. Pull your belt out of the way. Now, if all you were doing is the variator, this is going to be a pretty easy job. Here comes the clutch off. There we go. We're going to set the clutch to the side for now. Alright, so behind this, you're going to have those sliders or rollers that you have installed, and there's a cover plate. So stick your fingers behind there, and you can kind of work everything off in one go and not drop them and make a mess. Right, so we're not going to need anything off of this guy to save it. You may want to revert back to stock one day. And it is good and dirty in there. So I'm probably going to take some compressed air, give everything a blowout, and I'll be right back. Alright, got it cleaned up a little bit. Doesn't have to be perfect, just wanted to get some of the clutch dust out and some of the burnt rubber off the belt. Now, I had a unfortunate accident. Well, I'm not going to call it an accident, I'm going to call it somebody at Honda's carelessness. There was a stray piece of metal inside my case here when I got the bike. And if you notice, there's some pretty nasty scoring on the variator face here. Very nasty. And took some time off my belt too. Didn't hurt it too bad. Honestly, it probably wouldn't be a bad idea to put a new belt on, but I've had one back ordered for, oh God, more than a month. So I'm gonna rock with what I got. It's still in good enough shape. I just need to replace it soon. But now's a good time to inspect everything, check everything out. I haven't seen anybody else have that problem, but yeah, it happens. Luck of the draw, I guess. So while we're here, before we work on the clutch or do anything else, remember those bolts I showed you taped to the front of the package. The bolt locations, the ones you're going to change out, excuse shaky cam, slide you in here, right here, and here. These are 10 millimeter bolts. The ones that are replacing it, you're going to use a number 5 Allen to drive the new ones in. So we're going to back those out and do it one at a time. Don't try backing them both out at once, just do one at a time. Otherwise you're going to have a little bit of a mess on your hand. But there you go. Put it to it. Hold on to those. Slide in the new one. Sorry, it's kind of hard to show you guys exactly what I'm doing. I know it's going to be awfully hard doing my fingers because it's got a round head to it. So we're gonna put it on the Allen. Help us out a little bit here. Alright. Now I'm no expert in scooter CVTs. That's why I'm choosing not to run both out at the same time. I don't know exactly what this plate holds down or what its function is, but I don't want to find out. So we're going to take our time. A weird artifact that keeps popping up on a view screen. Hopefully it doesn't pop up in the video. Guess we'll find out in editing. Alright, so let's run this guy up. Then don't wrench it up like crazy. I'm sure there's an appropriate torque value for this, but I couldn't find it. Just get it real good and tight. It's fine. Like I said, pretty much every install video I do, the bolt will let you know when to stop. When it feels like it's getting tough, don't keep pushing it. Let off. That's how you break heads off bolts, and then you're getting an extractor, and then you're having a really good time and crossing your fingers a bunch. So don't do that. Don't over tighten stuff. It causes problems. I can tell you quite a few horror stories from my time at Thermo King or Firestone. People doing just absolutely dim-witted things, putting 300-pound gorilla strength behind tiny little 8mm fasteners that end up costing thousands of dollars in repairs because somebody didn't want to look up the torque value or at least stop when the bolt got tough. Yeah. It is what it is. Fortunately, I was never the guy to do that, but I stood right beside one of the guys that did, and he trashed a water pump, which in turn trashed an idler, and tensioner, quite a few other things in this self-contained system on a Peugeot engine. And oh yeah, it more than trashed every bit of it and cost us thousands of dollars to replace everything. By the way, Peugeots are French for crap. If you got a Peugeot or you're a Peugeot fan, sorry, that's this one guy's opinion. Alright, I'm going to set up to show you how to take this clutch apart, and we're going to try our best not to get summer teeth when we do this. Some are here, some are there, and be right back. Alright guys, for this next part, you're going to need a few tools. A 38mm impact socket, an impact gun, 2 feet, and a 5-gallon multi-tool, otherwise known as a bucket. Pull yourself up a seat, and put your feet down on either side of the clutch and put some weight behind it. And I can't stress this enough. With any how-to videos, obviously this stuff's at your own risk, but I mean it this time. This is at your own risk. Just be mindful. It's probably not going to pop you in the mouth or anything like that, but just be careful. This is not the best impact socket in the world, so here's hoping it works. Alright. Once you get this work loose, there's going to be spring pressure behind the clutch. Just remember that. So let off of it kind of slowly. That's it. Nothing to it. Alright, so we're going to grab the other contra spring. And we're probably going to torque this up. We'll look up the torque value, be right back. Alright, sorry about that. I had notes, but got distracted a little bit earlier. I had to make an errand for the wife real quick. So, make sure to pull this collar off the factory contra spring. Put that in the new spring. Now, this is going to be a little bit tougher. Good bit tougher actually. We've got to line up in here. See these two flat areas here. This is keyed so it can only line up one way. Now it's going to be a little bit tough trying to push it down with our feet. So we're going to use our hands on this part. Just remember, be careful. It's not that much pressure. If you struggle with it, grab a friend, have them help you out a little bit. Just make sure you don't cross thread this, because boy, you're going to be in a world of hurt if you do. And you guys can watch me struggle with this for probably about 5 more minutes before I call Mrs. SE Navi out here to run this nut up for me if I don't get it. We'll get it. It's an oddly fine thread for such a thing. There we go. Give it a couple of spins back, remember that. Alright, once we get it on there, snug, just hand tight. Take torque wrench. It's going to be 40 foot-pounds. Alright guys, I'm back. I finally got that thing torqued down. The reason I was struggling is the impact socket I had has extremely deep cuts on the inside to help it locate on a nut or a bolt. And on a shallow net like this, that was proven extremely difficult. I had to get Mrs. SE Navi's assistance. But it is what it is. We got it on there. Alright, so next step, you can take your clutch. You can feed the belt onto the clutch here, like so. Then you're going to push this over the spline. Make sure you line everything up. If you got to force it, something's wrong. Alright, make sure that's properly seated, and make sure that it can spin freely. Alright, both of those points are incredibly important. If something's gone wrong there, you've got an issue. Pull it back off, try again, take a look at it. Alright, we're going to feed the clutch bell on top. This is keyed to the spline. Make sure it sits in there properly. Throw your washer on. And your nut up. Now, if you want to torque this up properly, I don't blame you. If I had something to hold this clutch still to run it up with a torque wrench, I would. It's 36 foot-pounds. This nut. I'm going to run it up with the impact. I'm just not going to give it hell. Same as we did last time. Just don't run it up like crazy. It ain't going to take a lot. It really ain't. Make sure everything's still spinning like it should. Nothing's bound up. Nothing's wiggling weird. You should be good to go. Alright, on the variator side, you're going to take your new half pulley. I'll go ahead and drop these rollers out so you guys can see how to put everything together. You're going to take your half pulley, drop your roller weights in at an angle, it looks stupid, then drop it on the floor. You're gonna take your roller weights, feeds into these slots right here. And I'm gonna chase that roller, just went skirting across the garage down. It'll be 6 in total. It's pretty self-explanatory, honestly. Let's see if that guy is in arm's reach, almost. Sorry about that, guys. We got it. It's clean. We're good to go. All right, we're going to feed all those in, put all those in there, just like so. All right. Then we're going to take plate, make sure we got our sliders locked in. There's going to be 3 of them. That's going to line up with these notches here on each side, just like so. All right, we're going to feed that onto the spline with, there we go. Push it all the way back. Feed the belt over the top. Make sure the belt rides on top of that boss. All right. Then we're going to take our drive face, feed that back on. Same thing's keyed with the spline. So just make sure it gets lined up properly. I like to give it a couple turns just to make sure everything's on there right. Then you're going to take your fins. This is called a CVT fan. Slide that on. And I believe this is actually part of the kickstart. But slide this on as well. This is not set all the way back, I don't believe. Let's take a look. What's going on? Yeah, I got it on there. I just had to squeeze the belt on the clutch side a little bit to give myself some slack. So, drive face is on. We're gonna put the fins on. Put this guy on here. I believe this is actually part of the kickstart. I could be wrong. Alright. Washer. Nut on top. Snug that up by hand. Then we're going to come back and this guy's going to get 40 foot-pounds. So I'm going to grab the 22mm socket. And reach this guy down real quick. Do that. Grab a hold of that fin. Alright. We'll grab something to wedge in here. I'll be right back. Alright, I was able to get that torqued up. Just wedge a screwdriver between the case and the back of the drive face. Just don't try to engage the teeth or anything like that. You can get this torqued up, and I mean, as always, you could run it up with the impact, but if you're going to torque it up, 40 foot-pounds. Now, if the housing for your starter came off with the front of the case, make sure you put this back in place before you test start it, okay? Otherwise, the starter's going to drop down and shatter against these teeth. Not a good thing. But let's start it up and make sure everything's working. running good. We're going to let it run open for a little while. Make sure we don't have any snags. I'm going to let the bike warm up. Play with the throttle a little bit. Make sure I watch. Keep an eye on everything. But everything looks good. All I got to do is button the case back up. We're good to go. And yeah, guys, like I said, I stumbled all over this one today. It's been a long day, but you stuck through it. Maybe you learned something. Maybe you didn't. Either way, if you like this video, please like and subscribe. It definitely helps out the channel. It's raining today, unfortunately, but I'm going to do a test of this tomorrow when it dries up a little bit, and I'll let you guys know exactly what I got out of it. Thanks.